Now, this is new. The UK's first body shaving range from Nivea Men. Now, this is new. The UK's first body shaving range from Nivea Men. Now, this is new. The UK's first body shaving range from Nivea Men. Now, this is new. The UK's first body shaving range from Nivea Men.
Step through it, the surface And so what I would like to claim is that it's got pervasive applications for blast penetrators, for fragmenting warheads, and for general purpose applications. In addition to that, what I would like to posit, this is somewhat less mature, is the ability to dial a mode. So we know that we can blow things apart and create fragments, and we've demonstrated with reactive materials that we can, that when you blow it apart so that you get tiny little fragments, basically particles, you can actually induce a blast. And the idea here is to develop the methodology based on the material properties of the case, and I'll call it the wave generators, which can be imposed between the explosive itself and the case, plus the initiation, for the most part, the initiation mechanism, in order to modify the shock wave that goes from the explosive into the case, and would be able to control basically the size of the fragments itself, anything from dust, which would induce a blast, to larger fragments for larger sized targets. The concept here is to be able to dial a mode depending on the type of target. If you're looking for a broad area attack, then essentially you would like a large array of smaller fragments, and for a narrower target area, you would be able to control that basically by the types of fragments and the shape of the warhead itself and the initiation scheme, and basically the height of burst. And for internal blast, you would basically want to initiate it so that you get a projection of powder and set it off inside the target so that you get an internal blast. So this is a further illustration, depending on whether the targets are close, or personnel, or vehicles, or a broad, let's say, radar installation. You would either you would control the area of attack by the height of burst, by the types of fragments, and also be able to dial the sizes of the fragments as appropriate for the target set. Okay, I have just two more concepts that I wanted to talk about. One is called, these two are variations with the same type of intention. One is called detonation merging, and the other is compressed magnetic flux. In detonation merging, the concept here is, rather than two ways, especially if you want to directionalize the either the blast or the fragments, or in this case it would be a shaped charge, what one would do is, when one sets off the explosive, what you really want to do is directionalize it. So normally when you set off an explosive, it goes off in 360 degrees, and only a very small fraction of the explosive energy is generated in the direction that you want. But with this concept, what one can do, so in this case, what one does is you set it off from behind, but this outage here is really a slapper, and it really is a slapper. So there's an electrical signal, and this slapper mechanism, so basically it's a little plate, comes down and smacks the explosive, and induces enhanced pressure, basically in the axial direction. Same thing on the other side. And so what that does is you get overlapping compression waves, and it's essentially like squeezing a tube of toothpaste. So you're confining the pressure to one direction rather than allowing